No paid baby bonding time off for me. What's up, social world? ¿Qué tal, mundo social? Mr. Mom here with another video regarding back in the day, I used to walk 4 miles. Anyway, back in the day, there was no baby bonding time for dads. It developed after my kids were born. So, I did get, a few days off, a couple days before, a few days off afterwards, because my boss was pretty cool about it. She let me use sick time, vacation time, stuff like that. I think I even took a couple of days pay, with no pay, just to be there for my wife at the time, and of course for the baby. But yeah, that was back then. It was, I guess you could say, it was more difficult to bond with your baby, but I wouldn't say so. I think most men would say that back then, but I wouldn't. Why? Because basically I go to work, and babies usually were semi-asleep or sleeping, and as soon as I got back, babies were mine. That was it. Let me at them, is basically, babies were mine as soon as I got home. And the babies were mine until the next morning, except unless, of course, if they were breastfeeding, and even then, they'd be holding on to me, because be lying down on the bed. My son always wanted to be so close to me, and he didn't want his mother to be so too close to me, but yet he wanted to breastfeed at the same time, so he'd kind of be angled with his head like sticking out like that, and holding on to me. It was hilarious. It's like, dude, you can't do both at the same time. Just you want to eat. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm talking as a baby. It was so funny. He'd push his mom away so they could be with me. But yeah, as soon as I got home from work, most of the weekends, all weekend long, was my time. I spent all the time available to me to be with my kids, to the point where both of them, their first word each, both almost at the same time, 4.5 months, their first word was Papa. Because I would be with them, and I'd just be Papa, just Papa, Papa. Lo and behold, the first word was Papa. Her mom was jealous. She thought she'd spend a lot more time with them. But there's a difference between just being there, I guess tending to their needs, which is important, and actually being with them, spending the time with them, which is what I did. Normally you hear, oh, daddy's little girl and mama's boy. Both my kids very, very close to me. Very, very close. Like I said, my son would push away his mother away from me so that he could be, like exclusive with me. And my daughter, she would she'd only go to sleep if I put her to sleep, basically. I had to do whatever, sing her to go to sleep or whatever. But it was me. She would not fall asleep with mom. That's just the way it was. And both of them, until they both were born. No, one was born 20 inches, which was my daughter, and my son was born 21 inches. And both of them slept on my chest until they were kicking too hard at the groin section. So as they grew, that was almost 4 months, I guess. So, like I said, from the time that I got home to the time I left, usually they were with me, sleeping. They were on me, and it's funny because I can never sleep like with my hand on. How most people can't sleep with something on their chest or whatever. They get nightmares and stuff like that. Best sleep I ever had was with my kids on my chest. Just absolutely the best sleep I ever had in my life. It was I don't know. That bonding time was precious. And even until now, my daughter's really close with me. She loves her mom, but she still lives with me, and she's very close to me. My son grew apart from me because of the influence from his mom, and he does have he is a special needs child, a learning disability, and he wanted to remain a small child, which is to me out of the question. He has to grow up, and his mom treats him as a little child. So some people will go with the easy route instead of the growing up the hard route. But yeah, that's how I bonded with my kids back in the day. I would have loved to have the baby bonding time. How long is it nowadays? 3 weeks or something like that, or more, or whatever it is. Man, I would have just absolutely adored that. But at the same time, I made up for it. I made up for it. That's what you got to do, is make the time for your kids. No matter how old they are, make the time for your kids. It's important, just because as a dad, just because you're a provider, which nowadays doesn't mean too much, because now women are providers. So women can provide more than men too. So I wouldn't have mind being stay-at-home dad and the mom providing. No problem. I had no trouble in raising my kids, so no problem in raising my kids, I should say. Actually, I had trouble and problems raising my kids. I did a pretty decent job at it, but I had trouble with baby mama always getting involved. There'll be other blogs about stuff like that. Anyway, what did you take advantage of your paid time off for baby bonding? Some job placements, I think, will let you just cash that out. But I'm not sure if that's true or not, if that's allowed. Let me know down below, because I'm curious about that. I'm not having another child, that's for sure. My two are good enough for me. Basically, the drama with baby mama and fighting for them for years and years just made it so I don't want to have more kids. And at this point, my kids being adults, I want to start all over again. I look forward to hopefully having some grandchildren, but other than that, anyway, let me know down below how you bonded with your baby. Did you take advantage? I know, for example, one of my friends, when she had her baby, I guess something like 6 weeks or something like that, she spread it out to, I think the first 2 weeks she used right away, but then like leftover weeks, she spread it out to having a week off a month. So you could divide it up. If you didn't know that, you could divide up the weeks. And so she did that. So there's options there. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Share with your friends and family, and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications of when another vlog is coming out. Alrighty, bye for now.